Welcome. This is Faith and Fitness, and today I just want to kind of give you guys an overview of my vision for this club. I'm calling it a club because we're cool kids, so it's going to be a club. For those of you who don't know me, I think most of you probably do. My name's Tiffany, and I just kind of want to share with you today a little bit about myself, my story, my background, what brought me to fitness, and why I feel called to do this. Right now, Tuesdays are good for me, but I just found out yesterday that my daughter's gymnastics schedule is going to change next month. So that's why I wanted to get everybody's contact information. I'm hoping that we can make this be a weekly meeting and exercise too. It's not going to be, this is a unique experience. Usually we're going to be doing more exercising, but today it's an introduction and then we'll work out. But yeah, I just hope that you guys can be flexible with your schedule because my daughter, she does gymnastics in Romney and it's an hour away. And I know when school starts, she's gonna have it 2 evenings a week and it's 3-hour practices. So there's only certain nights I'll be able to do this. And I'm pretty sure Tuesday's not gonna work after July, but I'll let you guys know when we get there. All right. Why aren't you working? There we go. All right, so who am I? I stole some of these slides from a team call presentation I did a while back, so you guys don't need to know all of that. But if you don't know me, I am a mom. I have 2 kids. My daughter Scarlett, she is 9 years old, and my son Holden, he is 2, but he'll be 3 next month. And we're in the trenches of potty training right now, which is so fun. He pooped on the floor today, and every day is just a fun journey. So if you've been through that, you know where I am in this stage of life. It's tough. But I did feel this calling to do this. I was at a business conference in San Antonio back in June, and one of the business partners there mentioned how she started a fitness club in her community and people loved it. And I thought, what a great idea, because yes, I am a certified fitness instructor, but, and you probably know this, whenever you create all of your own content for your classes, it can be overwhelming. And for somebody like me who already has ADHD, I have 2 kids. One of them is very active with gymnastics. The other one is pooping on the floor. I don't have a huge bandwidth right now. So I was like, what can I do? Because I love fitness. I want to help people with fitness. And I got this idea in San Antonio. Why don't I just share what I do with other people? I have this massive online library full of workouts that I love, that I've been doing for the past decade. Why not just share those, So hopefully you guys can be okay with meeting me where I am in this stage of life, because I do have a bajillion ideas in my brain of all the different kind of fitness classes I want to bring to this area. I'm just not there right now. So just wanted to share that. All right, so before I talk about my vision for this group and everything, I want you guys just to kind of know who I was, because I feel that's important to my story, because not everybody just wakes up and says, you know what, I just love working out and I'm gonna do it every single day now for the rest of my life. That's usually not how it happens. I mean, I guess maybe some people just love it. If that wasn't me, I was always a yo-yo dieter, I guess you would call it. I would get really motivated, go to the gym, eat healthy, and then stop, go right back into my unhealthy habits. And that was my pattern for a long, long time, until I became a partner with the fitness company that I'm with now. It's called Body, but it used to be called Beach Body. You might have heard of it. But anyways, I went through a really, really dark period, in my mid-20s, and it's not easy to talk about. My friend Kelly over there, she's been my friend through thick and thin. She was with me at my lowest. She's here with me now, being willing to be my little helper over there. Love you. I said, I love you. And I don't know, without Kelly, without this community, my family, my friends, all in Petersburg, who just were willing to be there with me during my really dark time, I don't know how I could have gotten through it. It was awful. I don't see any children in the audience, so I guess I can say this. I was gonna say something happened to me, the past trauma part, something happened to me when I was a teenager that I never told anybody about. Rhymes with grape, and it was traumatic. It was like an acquaintance of the family. It was nobody in our family, but it was just somebody who was kind of like a friend of a friend type thing. But I was with people who I thought I could trust, but it turned out I couldn't. That experience, I think, really made my self-worth take a nosedive, because I was 17, so shortly after that time I entered college, and I thought I could just bury that experience. I thought I could just bury it deep, never tell anybody, but I've had enough therapy now to know that that's not how it works. That's not how humans cope and process. It's gonna come out in one form or another. Your demons they're gonna come for you, and mine did. It took several years of me just, being self-deprecating, I guess is the word I would use. I was just doing like self-destructive behaviors. I was like the party girl in college. And when I met my husband, I was so in love, so happy for a while, but I still was not a healed person. I was not a whole person. Like, my husband has been with me through this whole journey, and he knows about my past trauma. He was actually the first person I told, back when we first got together. And he's always been just very, very supportive and very forgiving of the very dark phase of my life that I went through. I don't know where I would be today without him either. So it's hard to tell your story. I don't tell it often, probably not as often as I should. But I remember when I was at my lowest time, I was in my mid-20s, I think I was 25 at the time, and I had just gotten off work, and I came home, I pulled into my garage, and I shut the door, and I just left the car on. Because at that time, I thought, wouldn't it be so much better and just so much easier if I didn't have to get up and go to work the next day? That's where I was mentally at that point. And that saddens me to think about that now. I have a brother who's 25. There's so many young people that I know, and to think of them being in that low of a place is heartbreaking. And I wish that I would have told somebody what I was feeling. I wish I would have prayed. I wish I would have poured into church or something positive, something healthy. But instead, I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I didn't tell anybody. I thought I could just, again, bury it. And that did not work out for me. I eventually, through a series of bad choices, through self-destructive behaviors, I led myself to rock bottom. But the only good thing about hitting rock bottom is there's only one place to go from there, right? And that's up. So, even though I hate that chapter of my story, it is part of my story, and I try to own it, because there was a time when I hated the past version of myself, and I was like, what was wrong with you? Why would you have done those things? All of the terrible things that I used to think about myself. But today I'm actually really grateful for her, because she led me to here. She led me to where I am now, and I don't know where I would be if I hadn't become so passionate about health and fitness. So I am grateful to have gone through all of that, even though it was not fun, and I would not wish it upon anyone. I'm glad to be where I am now, and I can honestly say that I'm happier than I've ever been. I love being a mom, even though it's hard and stressful, and there's a lot of pee and poop you have to clean up and other bodily fluids, but I love it. I don't know where I would be without my children. They are amazing, and I thank God every day for those two special gifts in my life. It's just unbelievable to me that of all the people in the world, he chose me to be their mom. But I'm gonna get emotional, so I'll keep going. But yeah, that's me today, just completely different than who I was then. So I want you guys to just think for a minute and raise your hand if you've ever had a negative thought about yourself or about your body. Okay, so I'm not alone in this. I've had several, and I'm still human. It's still a work in progress. I'll find myself saying something negative, but I'm so much better at redirecting it now than I used to be. Before, I would just always look at the negative. I would never appreciate anything about myself, about my body. I was always picking it apart, as women, if you're a millennial, and even other generations can probably relate to this, you look at a magazine and you look at those models, they look perfect, but they're probably airbrushed, and they're posing in the right way. Like it's not attainable. Those beauty standards that are in our brain are not attainable, you know? And we need to just take that pressure off of ourselves, because every single woman in this room is beautiful, and the body that you have right now is amazing. And that's why that is my main vision for this group, is just to bring women together and build each other up, and to just recognize that we are so blessed to have the bodies that we have, to have the bodies that can physically move, that we're able to exercise and stretch and walk and do all of those things. Like, not everybody has that blessing. So I hope that coming here just helps you like kind of reframe your mindset, if you have those negative thoughts, to redirect it in a positive way. So this just kind of further reiterates my point. Like, if you're a mom, and if you knew that your child was having those negative thoughts about his or her body, how would you feel? I would be heartbroken. Like, if my daughter came to me and said that, you know, she thought she was, I don't even like to say the F word that rhymes with cat. Like, that's off limits in my house. We don't say it. We don't say that word. I would rather you say the one that rhymes with duck, if I'm being honest. But that would just shatter me. Like, I would hate that. That would break my heart. And the other day when I was doing like my morning devotional, because I really tried to do my devotional kind of paired with my workout. Usually I do the devotional first, but if I forget, I just read it after. But the one I read like a couple weeks ago, it was like right around the time when I had the idea to do this faith and fitness club. It was just like, it hit the nail on the head of exactly what I want to accomplish. Will somebody volunteer to read this if you can see it? I'll read it if nobody wants to, but.
I don't have a glass one. I'll read it.
Okay.
My children make a pastime of judging one another and themselves, but I am the only capable judge, and I have acquitted you through my own blood. Your acquittal came at the price of my unparalleled sacrifice. That is why I'm highly offended when I hear my children judge one another or indulge in self-hatred. If you live close to me and absorb my word, the Holy Spirit will guide and correct you as needed. There is no condemnation for those who belong to me. And I can't see all of them.
No, that just tells you the Bible that's from Luke
6,
yeah, Luke 6,
37, 2 Timothy 4:8, Titus 3:5, Romans 8:1.
Thank you. So that just kind of falls in alignment with what we were just talking about. Like, when we say negative things about our body, like that's an insult to our Creator. And I don't think, a lot of people don't make that connection with fitness. Like, we're so hard on ourselves. We've seen, you know, these beautiful people on Instagram or in magazines. Like, when I was growing up, it was like Cosmopolitan magazine that I would flip through, or 17 magazine. And we would see these images, and those get stuck in our head, and we think we gotta look like that, we gotta be like that, and we're so hard on ourselves, but we gotta stop. We can't, that is not what God intended. So that's it. That was my main point. So my hope for all of us is that we can connect our faith journey and our fitness journey. Because when I did that, that was game changer. Because motivation is not going to keep you going forever. Like, when I was getting in shape for my wedding, I had motivation. I did my workouts every day because I was motivated to look good in my wedding dress or whatever. But once my wedding was over, that went away. I didn't care anymore. I stopped working out. You know, that's just, I think it's human nature for a lot of us. But when I connected my faith journey and my fitness journey, that was the glue that stuck. And I just hope to help everybody find that. And it's not about weight loss. Weight loss can be a good thing, because when you feel your best and you're healthiest, you have more energy, you have more vitality, you just have more to give others. But I don't want it to be all about that, because I feel like I spent so much time chasing a number on the scale or chasing a certain clothing size that I had to be, but it shouldn't be about that, in my opinion. So, because I don't know if I said that, motivation is temporary, but faith is forever. So that's why I feel such like a deep-rooted passion towards what I do. And if you've heard of Beachbody, which is now called Body, I know like it can get a bad reputation because, well, network marketing in general can get a bad reputation, just because any salesperson can, there's some that you just are like, oh, that was icky, I don't like that, you know? But that is not, like, I didn't start this because I want to be a salesperson. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to start this club because I want to make a lot of money, or, you know, like, that is not my goal. My goal was like what I was talking about. I want to help everybody make that connection with their faith and their fitness. And if I can do that, then that's all I need. That's the only thing I need to keep me going. And I will keep showing up every single day and to help inspire and empower as many people as I can. So yeah, that's why, like I said, I do have on my radar, I have all these ideas of all the different kinds of classes I want to do in the future, but I'm just not there yet. Once I finally feel like I'm grounded, because we just moved to Petersburg. Well, I just moved here back in May, but my husband's been living here in November, so I was living in Morgantown with my kids for 6 months. So I've only actually been in Petersburg for a couple of months. So I'm barely getting my feet on the ground, and I'm excited to be here, and I'm really happy that you guys all came together with me here today, and I'm excited that, you know, I hope that you guys enjoy the experience and that you come back next week, because this is what I love to do. So thank you for being here. And that's it. You can find me really easily if you don't have my contact information, you can just type my name on Facebook if you ever have any questions or anything.